With just 28 days until Election Day, the amount of video I'm doing is going up. Essentially, I think about these things all the time, but won't make the time to put them out there. But it seems more important around now, so I wanted to get this out. Not necessarily related directly to something in the news today, but just something rolling around in my head for election season 2012. After this debate performance from Governor Romney last week, conservatives are too quick to throw a party. The polling data has been fantastic. Romney's back in this thing. That's great news. But there's talk of there's panic over in the Obama side. They're not panicked. They're not freaking out. They know they've gotten themselves into some trouble, but they're very, very much still alive. The issue to discuss is the consequence of the wound Romney put on the Obama campaign in that debate, is that they now are wounded. And all kinds of wounded people will do some crazy things. I think the consequence of that is going to be a very aggressive President Obama in the next debate. The thing he's getting called out for the most by his base is not bringing up the, quote, 47% comment, where Mitt Romney said 47% of Americans. He used a stat that 47% don't pay federal income taxes. That's true, but he said they were dependent, that they think government has to do everything for them. For the record, I don't think that's accurate. I think it's probably 20 or 25% of people count on and think the government should do absolutely everything for them. He just extrapolated 47% that don't pay federal income taxes and ascribed some things to that group that should probably not be ascribed to them. They should be ascribed to a much smaller group. But I think the president's going to bring it up. It's supposed to be a foreign policy debate, but I can see very much the president finding a way to turn this into attack Romney fest and keep it off the foreign policy, because it's not like he has a good foreign policy history to bring up, except for the fact that, as we continue to hear, he personally killed Osama bin Laden. He flew over there himself. He did a halo jump. He went into that compound and strangled Osama bin Laden to death himself. That's at least the impression you would get when you hear the president talk about that one achievement that he made in foreign policy. But anyway, I think the president is going to go after Romney in a personal level. Romney will probably return the favor. All I want to give you is how Mitt Romney should respond once it's brought up. I think the president will probably say something to the effect of, we've got a candidate, my opponent, who has brushed off 47% of the American people and called them, and said they were dependent on government and that they wouldn't take care of themselves. Something to that effect. And here's all Governor Romney needs to say. Something to this effect in response. Mr. President, all of us say things sometimes that we wish we could take back. Or at least that we wish we could rephrase and say a different way. As I'm sure you wish you could re-say something you said in 2008 when you were running for president on a private fundraiser, much like that one that's been all over the news, where you said about small-town Pennsylvania voters that they bitterly cling to their guns and their religion, and you implied they were racist because your word was they had antipathy towards people of a different color. I'm sure if you could go back, you wish you could be able to say those words a little differently than you did. And I feel the same way about what I said about 47% of Americans. I used a statistic about who pays taxes, and it was really in response to a question about voting and who we could convince. And I really wish I could have that back, because it does not convey my heart about the American people. I want to be president of all 100% of the people. It's the same way I'm sure you wish you could rephrase implying that small-town voters are bitter and racist and cling to their guns and religion. I'm sure we both would like to have those times back. But that phrase, the idea that there might be some people who feel like they're dependent on government, that's something that is not true of 47% of the people, but that is part of the ideology that you ascribe to, that your party tries to create. The Democrat Party for years, and you and your party for years, have tried to create an entire group of people that are dependent upon government, that think that housing and that health care and that all things should come from the government. That's part of your ideology. Your ideology says to people, you cannot achieve. You need government to take care of you. The good contrast in this election is that my ideology says to people, you can achieve. This is America. You can do this by yourself. You don't need us. You don't need the government to come behind you. So in that 47% comment, I definitely wish I could re-say it. I'm sure there's the same way you'd like to re-say some things. But it really ends up being a good contrast in our ideologies and how we think about the American people. That's it. Mitt Romney needs to just respond to that. If the president wants to throw down on this 47% thing, we'll throw down. Roll in the mud with him. This is a guy who actually, I mean, this 47% thing, again, was not accurate, as I've already admitted, but it's also been taken completely out of context. And there are people saying, Mitt Romney said he doesn't care about 47% of the people. That's not what he said. He said he doesn't care about convincing them to vote for him because he knows he's not going to get to them. And does anyone think that that's false? I mean, the president won this thing in 2008 with almost 53, or a little bit over 53% of the vote. He's not going to get less than 49% of the popular vote this time. I mean, Romney knows if he wins this thing, he's going to win it with 51% of the vote or 50 point something. This is going to be a close election. So that's all that's been rolling around in my head today. The knives are going to come out for Romney. I hope they're taking time now to think about ways to respond. And I think the response I just gave for the 47% attack would be a good one. Thanks for listening. I'm sure we'll be talking more as Election Day approaches in just 4 short weeks. Thanks.